MacVoices TV at Macworld 2010 is sponsored by Data Robotics, the makers of Drobo and Drobo S, the world's best data storage experience. This is MacVoices TV on the show floor at Macworld 2010 in San Francisco. I'm Chuck Joyner, and we're in the MacSpeech booth talking to MacSpeech CEO Andy Taylor. Andy, welcome to MacVoices TV. It's good to have you.
Hello, I'm glad to be here. We've been having a great time here at Macworld. Been very, very busy, and we've been very pleased with the audience turnout.
We've been going by the booth trying to see if we could get to talk to someone. We couldn't even find the person to talk to find you. It's been so busy. It's been really great to see. You obviously have another hit on your hands.
Yes, MacSpeech Scribe has made a very big difference to this audience. They've been looking for the capability of doing what we call remote dictation. So you would dictate into an iPhone or a digital recorder, and then sometime later, whenever it is you want to, you would have that speech turned into text. You don't even have to do it yourself. You can get somebody else to do it for you.
So that's what Scribe does. It allows sort of time-shifted transcription.
Correct. It's all about, I don't want to dictate right now. I want to dictate sometime later. Now it can be a minute, a year. It doesn't matter.
And Andy, what kind of parameters do we have on that? I mean, obviously transcribing something like this interview with all the ambient noise around here would be a challenge at the very least. Is that realistic? Do we have to have a sound studio kind of thing, or can we do it in a normal office environment?
Transcription in a normal office environment is not going to be a problem whatsoever. One thing you can look at is we do a lot of demonstrations live on the show floor at Macworld with a PA microphone. We get very high quality recognition out of that. It's not as good as in a quiet environment, but it's very good. MacSpeech Scribe uses the same technologies. So if you've got a huge amount of noise in the background, dictation's not going to work. If you've got a reasonably quiet environment, or at least you've got a reasonable opportunity for a person to hear you, then very likely MacSpeech Scribe will do a pretty good job too.
So who is Scribe principally directed toward? Is it for the person who just wants to time shift, or is there another aspect to it versus, say, MacSpeech Dictate?
It's got several different purposes. There is just time shifting. In a legal or a professional office, you've got a lot of people who have a lot of thoughts, a lot of work that they're doing, and so they could record it into a digital recorder and have one of their assistants do the transcription for them. I had one fellow who came up and was wanting to know about dictate versus scribe. When I described what the differences were, he got very excited. He looked around and said, "Oh, wow, I don't have to sit in front of the computer at all?" No, you don't.
Okay, now, which kind of brings up the question, you say not in front of the computer. What gives us acceptable results versus best results? Do we put a headset on? Are we using a handheld mic? Are we just sitting there in front of our iMac or our MacBook Pro speaking into that microphone?
In both cases, MacSpeech Scribe and MacSpeech Dictate are all about what you might call a close talking microphone. So if you hold the microphone up to your voice, up to your mouth, so for like an iPhone, you're making a telephone call, you're holding it in position. You've got a constant input because you don't move the iPhone around. Same thing with a digital recorder. People who are used to using a digital recorder know that they don't move their head around while they're doing their dictation. You can up the accuracy by putting on a headset. That will certainly help, especially in a noisy environment because you've got a noise-canceling headset. What you really need to do is control the environment so that you've got a constant quality input. If you do that, you're going to get very good results. It's easier than it sounds.
It's easier than it sounds. Okay, that's a little, you don't hear that very often.
It really comes down to paying attention to what's going on. A lot of it has to do with how do you speak. Many people will mumble and slur. If they do that, it doesn't matter how clear it is, it's a mumble or a slur, and any kind of dictation is going to have a problem with that. So speaking clearly is really the big part. After that, the next step is don't have lots of big noises. If you're able to speak clearly, be able to be heard easily, then the computer's going to do a pretty good job with it as well.
in using, if I'm a new user to transcribe or dictate, do I put the punctuation in verbally, or does the software try to anticipate what should go where, or do I have the ability to toggle that?
Today, MacSpeech Scribe does require that you put in the punctuation. Maybe sometime in the future we'll be able to put something in that would do punctuation for you, but right now, putting it in yourself gives you the best results.
I'm kind of glad to hear that, because if you've been trained at all to dictate, or if you have to learn, it's not that tough a skill. And I would rather do that than have to go back and try to clean up a lot of things that it's going to be difficult with accents, with inflections, with all those things. They're going to vary it all over the countryside.
It does help you organize your thoughts as well if you put in at least the basic punctuation for sentence endings such as period, question mark, exclamation mark, comma. Yeah, all of those things do help you think in terms of a written mode versus a conversational mode. It's a different kind of dictation.
Something else we've seen you do with MacSpeech and your products is you've added specialty, I don't know what the proper phrase is, dictionaries or well,
there are vocabularies.
Vocabularies, I couldn't say the word, vocabularies for legal, for medical. This seems like such a natural kind of thing for MacSpeech. And it makes it even, I think, a little bit easier for you, and definitely focuses you in a different market where people really need to do this stuff and want to do this stuff.
Well, thank you for mentioning that, because we do have Scribe Medical and Scribe Legal. If you're a current owner of MacSpeech Dictate Medical, then you can purchase an upgrade for Scribe Medical, which will work with the dictionary that you've already got. Same thing for Scribe Legal. If you're an owner of MacSpeech Dictate Legal, then you can purchase the Scribe Legal product, and it will work with the vocabularies that you have in place.
Can you walk us through the price points of some of these products, and also the other thing along with that is microphones? You talked about an up close mic. Do you sell them bundled? Do you recommend things, or am I sort of on my own to go find what I'm comfortable with?
With MacSpeech Dictate, we do have a set of microphones that we have tested as best we can to make sure that we're delivering the highest quality recognition we can get for the lowest possible price, because we need you to be successful with the sound input. If you put garbage in, garbage out, so high quality sound in, you're going to be very successful, and that's what we want to have happen. So we do have a standard microphone that we put in the box of every MacSpeech Dictate. That is part of the $199 price point. At the show, we have a $179 discount, which includes the sales tax, and that does include a higher-end headset. It's a stereo headset for the purpose of, among other things, controlling the environment. If you want to listen to music while you're dictating, pipe the music into your headset. Then the microphone won't hear it. The other thing we also have is that we have a Plantronics Callisto headset, which is a Bluetooth. It provides the opportunity to operate your cell phone using a Bluetooth headset, and that's the only one that we've been able to qualify so far that delivers enough quality for dictation accuracy. It's got a long boom on it, as well as some additional electronics that provide for the noise cancellation that we need. The MacSpeech Dictate products normally $199. When you move up to the medical and legal products, it's $599 or $595 for Dictate Medical and $595 for Dictate Legal. The Scribe family has a similar set of price tags. The show special is currently $99. It's going to normally be $149. The Scribe Medical and Scribe Legal are add-ons to the Dictate Medical and Dictate Legal products. They're not available by themselves. So for $99, you can add the transcription capability to your Dictate Medical or Dictate Legal product. When you're working with Scribe, since we're not selling hardware with that particular product, and this is because you can use it in a lot of different ways, with your iPhone, with your iPod, with a digital recorder. So at this point in time, what we're expecting is that we're dealing with someone who's a little more used to dictating into a remote sound source. So they're used to the idea of holding the recorder in a steady way, the iPhone in a steady way. They can also put a headset on if they want to, and that will only make the recording accuracy that much better.
Sounds like you've got the speech recognition market pretty much locked down.
For the Macintosh market, very definitely.
That's what we like, but I like the fact that you're not just resting on your laurels, that you're continuing to improve, find new ways to leverage it, and make it easier for us to use.
Very definitely. We're not satisfied yet. We think our products are doing a very good job, but we've got a lot of ideas, and it's just an issue of time.
Well, I hope to be able to talk to you again soon and see what your next idea has come out with.
I definitely want to be there to do that.
Andy, thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate it.
Sure, thank you.
I'm Chuck Joyner. That's it from the MacSpeech booth in San Francisco at Macworld 2010. We'll be back again with more soon. Thanks for watching. MacVoices TV at Macworld 2010 is sponsored by Data Robotics, the makers of Drobo and Drobo S, the world's best data storage experience. MacVoices TV is part of the MacVoices Group and a member of Mac Level 10.